Yo, what's up, guys? It's Logan and Brayden, and we are here with this week's guest, the amazing, the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, the man himself here, Elijah Temple. How you doing, brother?
How are you, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's
Elijah, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Tell everybody out there who you are, what you do.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Elijah. I am an actor, musician, writer, sometimes director. I love all things entertainment, and I'm here to chat with these guys about all that stuff.
Awesome.
My guy. Yeah, Elijah and Brayden worked together on a film. It's Bellwood, right?
We've worked together on Bellwood and then a short film called The Ordinary Seven.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
see,
Yo, Brayden.
y'all go way back.
We go way back.
Yo, Brayden.
Oh,
Okay, I see you, man.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love
That's
that
fire.
poster.
That's fire.
But yeah, so Brayden and Elijah worked together a few times, man. Pretty good friends, and we were just hanging out. And Brayden was like, "Bro, we need to get my boy Elijah on the pod." I said, "Let's do it." I met Elijah yesterday when we went and watched Renfield, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, which was awesome. And yeah, so it was good meeting you, man. Good seeing you in person finally after talking a little bit on social media. About time, bro. About time.
About time.
We had a good time with it, dude. But dude, Elijah, my guy, this dude's resume really impressive. It also your like versatility is something that kind of popped up out at me. Like you started naming off everything that you've done, dude. You have a lot going on. It's not just acting, like I said, you make music. You're starting to kind of dive into directing a little bit. I think that's super interesting, dude, because when we were kind of talking about this before we started recording, the acting or the entertainment industry is so big when it comes to like different categories and different types of entertainment. But you somehow pretty much tapped into almost every single one of those. So if you can kind of tell me like how you got started and what kind of led you to branching out into like all these different, things in the acting or the entertainment industry, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, the acting piece came from it. Like in middle school, like the school play Music Man. I was like, I think my mom made me audition for it actually.
Oh, okay.
I want to do that.
We'll go for it.
I did like an ensemble part. It was pretty cool, and then she then convinced me to audition for like a local like theater, and it was like a play.
Yeah.
And I had a small part. I had one line like the whole show. It was a small part. But then they were like, "Oh, this kid just dropped out. Eli, can you fill this role?" And I was like, "No, like I'm cool." Like,
Yeah.
and it was like 2 weeks before the show, and I mean, it was a big character, had a ton of lines, had a ton of blocking to do. I was telling my mom, I was like, "Yo, I don't think I can do that." Like,
Yeah.
but I pulled through. I ended up doing it. And after that show, I think it was after the first night, I was like, I want to keep doing this. And I told my parents, I was like, I want to be an actor. And so, they got the headshots, the agent, started doing a lot more theater. Then, after I think it was after like a year or so, of just auditioning. It was August when I got a co-star role on the show David Makes Man, which was extremely exciting. After looking it up and seeing who all was attached to the project, it was super cool. That was my first time on like a real like set.
That's awesome.
It was terrifying.
I've seen some of those premiere shots. They were pretty cool.
What do you say?
I said I've seen some of those premiere shots. They were pretty cool.
They're pretty good.
Wait, was it Pedro Pascal that was there?
Bro, let me actually say something about that right now, bro.
Dude, crazy.
Dude, he was there, but I was so young I didn't know who he was. And when I tell you, I was looking through it like a couple months ago, and I saw his picture there, and then I vividly had a small memory of him walking by me going, "Hey, how's it going?" And I said, "Good," and walked away. Because I didn't know who he was. And so then I looked back at the picture, I was like, yo, I said, I just dismissed Pedro Pascal like that.
Dang, man.
I just brushed
Did
it
my
off.
boy
No.
dirty.
I was like, "There's no way I just did that, bro." I
Crazy.
couldn't believe it.
Crazy, but hey,
It was
yeah.
before Mandalorian, all that stuff. Like I think he was. I mean, I think he was like on Game of Thrones, but like I didn't watch Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
so
That's wild.
no, yeah, bro. I was thinking about that recently. I
That
was
was
like,
the one
no,
thing I remembered about the pictures you showed me. I was like, yo, I remember you said something like Pedro Pascal was there.
dude. I was like, there's no way, bro. Like, but yeah. I mean, it was super fun to do. It was super nerve wracking. Just being on the set, but then like the premiere, I think was like a year later.
Hmm.
Um, and that was just so fun, man. Just cause I mean, I talked to everyone except for Pedro Pascal. I talked to, but I talked to mostly like everyone there. And it was just super fun. After that, I just kept doing it, kept doing short films, kept doing a little bit of theater.
Mm,
Um, and then it wasn't until what's this year? It wasn't until 2021 during the summer. Um, Tyler the Creator had dropped "Call Me If You Get Lost," that album, and I was just getting into him. I listened to like the third. I was listening to like the third song in there, and I was like, "Yo, that sounds so cool." And I was like, "Could I do that? Like, could I?" And so I was like, "Maybe I could." And I just started working at it from there. I got into at first I tried to get into the producing, then I got more into the writing
Hmm.
and the actual like rapping and recording, and then like slowly like last year I really started like getting more into the producing.
mm.
Now I can sit here at this computer, produce a whole song, write the whole song, record the whole song, and send it out.
That's dope.
That's freaking awesome, man.
That's so
Mhm.
cool, man. Yeah, no, that's like I said, bro, the fact that you tapped into all those different things throughout your entire life is so cool, man.
Hmm.
That I something that many people can't say that they've been, an actor, not many people say that they can, make music. And the fact that you're doing all those things, man, that's incredible, dude. You're absolutely killing it. Well, I just
Thank
want
you,
to
man.
say this, man. One thing that I was looking through your IMDb and stuff, man, look what you've been in. One thing that kind of jumped out at me is you played Mr. Green in Clue.
Yeah,
Dude, how
yeah,
was that, dog?
man. So that was my high school show.
Okay.
Which, if you know school shows, they're like all right, At least from my experience when I was like in middle school, they were all right.
Mm,
The Clue was probably the best show I've ever done,
Hmm.
okay.
and it's because we had an amazing director. My theater teacher, Mr. Fritz, is an incredible director. I did Clue, and then I did another show just because he was the director. And those are the last two shows I did like recently. But I didn't want to do it at first because I was like, "It sounds stupid, Clue, like the board
Yeah.
game." But then again, mom convinced me.
Hmm.
Um, and so I did it. I auditioned. I got Mr. Green. I was like, okay, I don't really know much about it. I read the script and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
okay, this is really cool.
It's a
Like,
murder mystery, bro. Like it's really cool,
I
really cool
know, and
concept.
yeah, and I mean that character alone is just so fun to do. It's so funny and so
Yeah.
and just like a fun, very out there character.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That was just it was something so cool for me to play. Um, and he was always getting like hurt. Something was always falling on him, or someone was always chasing him and stuff. So like I got to do all that. That was
Hmm.
super cool. Um, and throughout the show, like you're always on stage.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like the only time you're off stage is to like pretend to go into a room, but then you come back on stage to see you in that
And
room.
yeah, the next,
Right.
yeah,
And so that's like my favorite show I've done. That's my favorite part I've ever played was Mr. Green. That was super cool.
Dude, that is
pretty dope.
awesome. No, I just love the murder mystery concept. I'm a big fan of the old Clue movie. That's something that I've always enjoyed. And I saw
Hmm.
that on your IMDb, but I was like, that's dope. That's cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
And his little twist at the end, man, loved it. Like
Hmm.
the his character's twist, dude. And I
Yeah.
mean, like had that whole big monologue of just revealing everything about everyone, and like that was super cool.
That's
That was
awesome.
such a fun show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that.
I bet, dude.
Hmm.
Um, well, you know what? I've always wanted to ask you, man. Working with you on Bellwood, we had a lot of funny, awesome, and terrible moments
Yes,
together
bro.
where we suffered, we laughed, we cried, and the same thing with the Ordinary Seven. And I just want to ask, like, for me, one of my favorite moments on set was one of our scenes when I was like, and Joe is my little ghost hunter, and I gave Eli a smooch right on the cheek. And I did it without telling anyone, and everyone was so shocked, and it was just this perfect reaction. But a moment like that, what from all the sets that you have been on, including theater, even we can even go music videos as well. All the sets you've
Mhm.
been on, what is one moment that's left you there like, wow, man, like this is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Dude, bro, you stumped me. Oh man, I think there was. I mean, I gotta say, as difficult as Bellwood was, there were so many moments because that was a very long shooting period,
Yeah.
and there were so many moments, and I think a lot of those moments were just like it was just when we hung out because
Hmm.
that's mostly what we were doing. Like, you know, we weren't shooting that much,
Yeah,
but
sometimes.
um, but majority of it was like just hanging out and just like bonding with people. Like, I mean, the people I met, you, Reese, Grace, like all of those people were just so fun to be around.
Hmm.
Like, and it was just no one was ever really like just not hanging out or like a downer or something. Everyone got
If
along.
somebody was down, we were
Every
all down, you know.
Yeah,
We were
exactly.
all suffering together.
It was like if someone was down, it was for good reason, and everyone else was probably feeling the same way.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, but yeah, I would probably just say that experience overall, and one from David Makes Man. It was I remember this so vividly because I remember me and my mom freaking out. It was like we had just got there. It was early in the morning,
Hmm.
and we were rehearsing for one of the scenes before like we got in the costume and everything. We were rehearsing. It was just the people who had lines. Um, we did our rehearsal. I had like one like really just big line. That was all I had.
Hmm.
But after we finished, we were walking back to like the trailers,
Yeah.
and I just feel a tap on my shoulder, and I look, and it's Felicia Rashad.
Mm.
And I look at her, and I was like, "Hey," and she's drinking the water. She does this. You're good, and I just said, "Thank you," and she goes, "You're good,"
Thanks.
and then walks away. I look at my mom like this, and she looks. We keep our cool. We keep our cool. We keep our cool. We close that door, lock it. Oh my
Oh my God.
That's
like real
awesome, bro.
like my mom was freaking out. Like I was freaking out because I was like, dude, like there's no way she just said that to me.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that
No,
was
that's
that was
crazy.
extremely crazy. After that, I was like, I'll be doing this for a while. Like
Yeah. 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 This
I'll
is
be
this is my
doing this
niche.
100%, bro.
Yeah, dude, confidence and persistence is so important. And that's actually something that James Hugh Courtney mentioned last week. And it's
Mm.
true, and sometimes you need people like that, man, to get that confidence back up, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
give that strength to keep going, bro. That is really, really cool. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is. I know that is such a tough thing. I feel like with just not film but entertainment alone is you gotta have the mindset to keep going
Yeah.
Yep.
because I mean it is hard and it sucks.
A lot
Yeah,
of
because
rejection.
you will get rejected back and forth, whatever it is. If
Yeah.
it's from like you put a song out there, you don't get a lot of listens or views on the video, or you audition for a bunch of stuff, you don't hear nothing back. It is hard, but you just got to keep on promoting yourself, putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to try and like get that confidence to do that
Mhm.
But I feel like the easiest way to do it is if you're loving it and you're not looking at it like, oh yeah, I need this job, I need to do that. And it's just like if you're doing it because you love it, something will eventually happen because
Mhm.
you have this strength and love for the creative work that
Well,
you're trying to
Yeah.
put out.
the love is also going to give you the strength to keep going back at it. You know what I mean? It's really hard to give up on something that you love. That's so hard to do. So no, you're 100% right, man. It's something that
Yeah,
keeps you going, bro. Yeah, I'm with you. Once it becomes a job, that's when it's a problem.
Yeah,
But if
man.
you
yeah,
really
yeah,
do fall in
exactly.
love with it, then it's doesn't feel like one, man. It's about building those relationships, and like you were saying earlier, Eli, with Brayden and everybody else, you build these friendships that last forever.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I still talk to people that I worked with 10 years ago. You know,
Mhm.
and it's just you build these friendships. It's like a big family, is what it is. You know what I mean? It's one big
Exactly.
family,
Yeah.
and it's
Dom
so
Toretto.
interesting.
Family.
Hmm.
Yeah. Family.
Yeah, man. It's
Um,
it's amazing.
yeah. No, I'm
And,
I'm with you.
and gatewaying off that, do you have a role? Like I know when we talked about on the set of Bellwood when you played Joe, I know you really liked that role because you had never really played a character like that. And I know even with your upcoming short for the OIF that you're playing another darkened role. But before you're always seen as like more of those childish roles. Is there a certain role? I know you even mentioned Mr. Green now. Um, is there a certain role that really introduced this new level of acting to you and it kind of just was like, man, this is probably my favorite role I've ever done. This is why I love to act.
Yeah. Back. I have all up there are
He's like, let me go
playbills.
look at my
They're
room
like
full of my
playbills. I have
scripts.
to look at them. Nah, there's none up there. I think, but I would say the recent one I just did for the OIF
Mhm.
because I won't give too much away about it, but it is a role where you cannot see my face. You can see
Wow.
my body, you can hear me. You can't see my face though.
Mhm.
And so it was challenging to express myself without being able to see my face, express myself through my voice, express myself through my body.
Yeah.
And it was, and I mean, it's not like it's not something I'd ever read before in an audition or just a film I had been in because obviously, like as a teenager, you're gonna get the teenage students and you're gonna get those roles. And man, I got bored of those. I was like, man, it's the bully, it's the bully, it's the jock, it's the nerd, it's the blah blah blah, it's the new kid, like
Yeah.
whatever. And so I think it was my 18th birthday this year that I literally was talking with like my mom and I was
Oh my
like, I
God,
don't want
he's
to
an
do like
adult.
Oh my God. Oh
Oh
my
my God, he's
yeah.
an
God.
adult.
I was talking with her and I was like, I don't like I'm hoping now that I'm 18, I can just find completely different things.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, I found the audition for that role. And then I
Wow.
and then I got it the next weekend. So
So, and nothing too, I know you started out with, theater and stuff like that, and you have to really be more expressive when it comes to, theater and stuff. So did that help a little bit with that role?
mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm chewing ice now, bro.
No, you're good.
My fault. Yeah, theater definitely helped with that because I mean theater you have to be big because like there's people sitting all the way back there, they can't see much.
Yeah.
Um and so that was super theater really helped me get out of my comfort zone because I feel like as a little kid I was always big and loud, I was funny and stuff, but like I wasn't like out there enough to where like I could go on a stage and just be nuts, dude.
Yeah.
And so that was like doing like years of that really helped and really just got me out there and having the confidence to do whatever, you
Mhm.
know?
And how,
And
like,
so,
this kind of goes into my last question when it comes to like the acting side of things for you. How was that transition from like plays and theater into film and TV? I know
hard.
you guys kind of talked about, right? Yeah, you definitely have the confidence there, but you also have to kind of dial it back. You can't be big, right? Because then it comes off
Yeah.
weird. So how was it to kind of find that balance between it?
Um, that was difficult, man. I mean, when I was first starting, do you know who Mark Mullins is?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, casting director
Casting
here.
director here in Orlando.
Great dude.
Yep.
Love him. I did a workshop with him, and it's where I first met him. I did a workshop with him, and it was like just doing a scene, you know. And it was like a whole day of a workshop and stuff. But so he was like he put us all on tape and like in front of all the kids, and I was like, all right, whatever. Like I can act in front of people. Um, but then I was doing my lines, and he goes, hey buddy, there's a microphone right above you. You don't need to be so loud. And I was like, shoot, you're right. So like I was like, let me chill a second. And so like I had to like take a minute to kind of like, you know, soften up a bit, like lower my
Yeah.
tone. And that's the thing I always try to remember is like for theater, they give you a microphone for theater, obviously, but you still gotta be loud. You still gotta project because that microphone isn't much.
Yeah.
And that microphone goes out sometimes.
Mhm.
Right.
um But like with film, it's just like there's always gonna be a microphone right here. There's always gonna be a microphone right there. So
Yeah.
it's like you can talk in whatever tone you feel is natural. And so it's just like I feel like I've gotten so much better at that. That's been my biggest thing is the tone, my facial expressions. Like I mean, because in theater I was, you know, and all that. Ooh,
Right.
you hear that, bro?
Gotta pop that back into place real quick.
I know.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, I mean, it was the facial expressions, it was the body movement. I remember my first audition was like for an HBO show. And it was weird. It was like these kids who were portraying adults.
Mhm.
And so I was auditioning for like a head of a company or something. And the first time I did the audition was with Jordan. He's the first person I ever auditioned with
Mm.
for film. And I was like doing these big we're doing this and like throwing paper and stuff. And he goes, hey buddy, he was like, you don't got to do all that. Like, let's keep it. Let's try a little calm take.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I didn't move, but I kept the facial expression, and I
Right.
still was loud. And he was like, you can tone it down a little bit. He's in the same room as you.
That's great.
And
That's
so
hilarious.
didn't get that one.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
But
Yeah.
but
Next
yeah,
time.
I mean,
Next time.
it definitely in the very beginning, it definitely was like a big transition.
And you learn, you know what I mean? Like you said, bro, that
Yeah.
those are the stepping stones, you know what I mean? And you just got to build
Mhm.
on that foundation. And I think you definitely have a step over kids that are just going straight into film and theater without any, or sorry, not film and theater, into film and TV shows without any theater experience. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like I said, you might have to kind of dial it back a little bit, but that confidence is there. You know how to memorize stuff like that. That I think is
Mhm.
definitely beneficial. So,
I
yeah,
will
good stuff.
say, I will say one of like it is, but I think theater really did help a lot with film because I think it's better to hear, "Hey, let's dial it back," than "I need more." You know what I mean? That's what I was always told in theater is like it's always better to hear like, "Hey, let's dial it back a bit." You know, you're doing great, love the energy, let's dial it back a bit, than to hear like, "Okay, we need more. Come on."
Yeah.
Like so theater definitely helped. I think, you know, if you're like wanting to start out, theater is the best thing because even in film, you're gonna have to be in front of people at some point.
Right.
That's what a lot
Um,
of people say to build your resume, go do some plays and stuff.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, for building a resume, I mean, like my resume is like stacked with theater stuff, and
Hmm.
so like that's the coolest thing is like, you know, if you want to build a resume, you got plays and like or you can put classes and workshops on there, like
Yeah.
Mhm.
you'll have experience even if it's not in front of a camera.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Mhm.
Uh, Braid, do you have any other questions regarding like film and TV?
Okay, there is one.
Go for it.
So I've talked to you about this before, and you had a very rather large role that you auditioned for that you should have gotten, fortunately did not get, and that would be for the Fablemans. So I
I thought
wanted
that's
to,
what you're talking about.
yeah, I wanted to touch on that, man. Like, what was the process getting a role like that, and seeing the copy and doing the audition, and what was it after when you saw like they got cast, and then now all the awards coming out.
That was so scary,
Yeah,
dude.
dude, I freaking
Because
bet.
I mean, the way I got it was through Scott Dettinger, who takes like my headshots.
Hmm.
He said he was like, "Hey, I saw this post on Facebook. You know, I thought about you, and it was a audition for the lead role for Sammy, and like it
Wow.
was just posted on Facebook."
Because when I
And so
showed
I
my
was,
friend, if you guys look at the guy who plays Sammy, dude, you guys look a lot
Yeah.
alike.
Oh yeah.
I
A
know. I
lot alike.
look at him, and I was like,
That's me.
Man,
I
that's
was
Bro,
so
looking
there,
in the
bro.
mirror.
I was there.
that son of a
Um,
bitch.
but yeah. So I auditioned for it, not thinking anything of it. I was just like, just put it out there. Why not? I auditioned for it with Jordan, and then I got an email from Amblin Entertainment, and I was like, oh my god, like,
Oh my
and
god, this is not real.
they were like, hey, we really loved your audition. Do you think you can audition again, reading for these? And so I was like, yeah, like I got you. I'd say less. And so it was like it was two other roles. Um, and so I was like, okay, but they wanted me to read. It was just one scene, and they wanted me to read for both of them though. And so I did one take where I was just like in one outfit reading for this character, then in a different outfit reading for this character, and then we sent the email, and they were like, uh, "Awesome, thank you so much," and that was it. And then we just waited. That was so hard,
Yeah,
just
that
waiting
that's
for it, man.
that sounds difficult.
Because I mean, like it's one thing when it's like you send it out there and it's like a lead role and you send it out there and it's like you just don't hear back. But like, bro,
Yeah.
when they contact you, come back to
Yeah.
you and they're like, hey, do you want to do this? It's like, bro, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
That means that they liked you. Yeah, they wanted more from you. That's
I
awesome.
know. So that, bro, that was super crazy. I still haven't seen it. Maybe it's because of out of
We
spite.
haven't
Maybe it's in
either.
the back of my head out of spite or something. I don't
He's like,
know.
it should be me.
He's like, yeah, I'm
I
gonna,
know,
yeah,
right? I do want to see it though. It does
Maybe
look
that's why
really
we
cool.
haven't watched it either.
yeah, exactly. We're doing it for you.
Yeah, we're
Doing it for
spiteful
you.
too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yo,
Never
I really appreciate
protesting.
y'all supporting me. Like,
That's great, bro.
Oh yeah,
mhm.
man. But
Crazy.
yeah, that's it. That's it for the acting stuff for me,
Yeah.
at least.
Um, I guess since we're in the this like the acting kind of world, you said you're gonna like directing is kind of a thing that's popping up. Can you expand on that a little bit? Like, how are you feeling about
Hmm.
that? Where you going with?
Yeah, so I really want to get into that more. I have like
Done a few
four little
shorts.
short films I did. I have one that I posted on my YouTube. It's called Change is Real. That was just a little script I wrote, little short film I made. Um, and it was in the downtown like parking garage, you know. So it's something quick. I mean, it was something, short, cute. I submitted it for some film festivals and like um I got like a couple little uh small like I think it was for the Cosmic Film Festival. And then I got like best first time I think it was best first time director and best student short film.
Mm, okay.
So that was really cool.
Yeah.
That happened on Bellwood. It was like right when we first
Yeah,
started shooting.
I remember you showed me it.
I was like, oh shoot, bro. Like,
Yeah,
That's awesome.
um, but yeah, I mean, I really
your
want to
dad
get
was in
into it
that one,
more.
right?
Was it?
Was your dad was in that one, right?
Yeah,
Or is that
my dad
yeah,
was in that one.
yeah.
The four short films I've done, it's all my family has all been in them.
There you
And
go.
so like I have like three that I just haven't put out there because they were like for a class
Hmm.
that I did. But they're super fun. They're like funny. And so
Yeah.
like um I just did it for a class. It was a directing class. Um and so I really want to get into it again. I'm trying to write some more stuff. I'm currently in the middle of a new script idea that I'm working on. It's just a short film. I had a thought about the other day. Um, that's another thing. If I have an idea, I'm on it right
Mm.
away. Like I've like so yeah. I just started working on that. I've had one script idea that me and my mom wrote uh last summer or last year at some point.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think, but yeah, just trying to get into it again because directing's fun. I love doing it. And just writing, coming up with an original idea, super cool.
Well, it's something totally different. You know what I mean? And it's a lot different
Yeah.
than people think. And I think being in front of the camera too, you have a whole nother different perspective. And I think and a vision that I think is really unique. That's
Hmm.
why I like, Charlie Day's new movie that's coming out. I know we were talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
We
They had
were.
the trailer and the movie yesterday. Dude,
Fire.
it's so interesting because he wrote it and directed it
Mhm.
and is acting in it. So
Yeah.
it's such a
I feel like a lot of actors are some of the best like have some of the best creative minds
oh yeah.
because I
They have
mean,
so much built up.
they're having to bring personality to these characters that they play
Mm-hmm.
for like other people's movies. Like they could easily write it and
Hmm.
direct it and make it come to
Mm-hmm.
life themselves.
Yeah.
100%.
So
Yeah.
it's super cool.
With you there, man. With you there. No,
Hmm.
it's something that me and Brayden been talking about too, man. It's such an interesting thing that I definitely want to kind of try out myself just to kind of see, because you're
Yeah.
Trying to jump
around that
into that
atmosphere all
world.
the time, and especially when you get on bigger productions and you see the everything that goes into it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The mindset, the months and months leading up to it, sometimes years leading up to it. The preparation wise. It's really cool and how like specific they are with everything. So it's something that's super interesting, bro. And I'm glad you're kind of going for that, dude. So keep
Hmm.
at it. Keep at it, and
Thank you, man.
congrats
Heck
on the
Thank
yeah.
you.
awards. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
And
Bray,
then,
if you wanna kind of lead into the music, man.
yeah, man. So our boy Eli here has been making music for a long time, and
Yeah.
Not
we
a
had a
long
big,
time.
not a long
Maybe
time,
like
but
2 years.
yeah, yeah. Well, hey. So it's a pretty long time now. It's all right. Yeah, decent time. But
Yeah.
he's gotten super good, super quick, and um, you had this giant album drop at the beginning of the year. You had this single. What it just premiered on Friday.
Mhm.
New
Friday,
York
Yeah.
City.
New York
No, yeah,
City.
City.
Um, yeah, man. So like, take us through what's the album about? What's New York City about? And you work with Tommy Wolford a lot. How are you guys connected? Where'd you guys meet?
Tommy Wolford, we met through theater. We did a play
Wow.
together.
Because I said he wrote what Malcolm X the musical, right? I saw
Yes.
it's doing pretty
Mhm.
good right now. It's
Yeah,
like Dr.
he
Phillips.
wrote an entire musical. He's directed it. He's made all of the music for it, and it's super impressive. He's such a talented mind.
Yeah,
He's amazing to work with because he's just go 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 go. You know, if he wants to do something, he's gonna do it, and
yeah,
like that's that's what I'm all about too.
yeah.
And so he was kind of the one that brought me into the music and kind of showed me, when I told him I had an interest for it, he kind of showed me how everything worked.
Hmm.
Um, how producing works, how recording works. Um, and so I mean, since then, I still always want to work with him, just because we always have fun. It's
Yeah.
always fun to work with him. So for this song, I'll start with this song first.
Hmm.
So this song, I had just went to New York with me, my parents, and Jenna, my girlfriend, for the first time ever.
Hmm.
I'd never been there. It has been a dream of mine to want to go there.
Yeah.
We went there for spring break and we saw like everything, man. I
It's
mean,
awesome.
we saw Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, you name it, man.
It's
And
awesome.
except Central Park, I really wanted to go to Central Park, but we didn't have
I
time.
love Central Park.
But yeah, I mean, we tried to hit as much as we could, and just seeing everything and just being there, it felt like a completely different world.
Hmm.
And I was like, and I thought about that, and I was like, that's so crazy. I live here, like in this little town in Florida, and now like I'm seeing this whole other place,
Hmm.
and it just shows how big the world is
Yeah, man.
and how many different experiences there are. And I was like, I gotta write about that. I gotta write something about that. I gotta talk about that. I gotta talk about how I'm feeling about that. Tommy was in New York at the same time we were.
Really?
He was working on some Malcolm X stuff up there. But we didn't get a chance to like meet. But I told him, I was like, yo, when we get back, I really want to work on this song. I really want to do this. And so he produced it. Um, I just told him, I was like, I want it to sound like the city, and the music sounds exactly like it. I mean, he
Oh
did
yeah.
it's one of my favorite little beats instrumentals by him.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
it was so cool. And I got it, started writing immediately. And like, where's it at? Looking for my notebook here. I got this notebook for the purpose of writing this song in there. Like, hold up. Bam, you can see it right up there in New York City.
That
Like,
is awesome.
That's
and
pretty fire.
so it was so cool. And I loved writing about it. And um, just working with him again. Cause I mean, the last time we were like, together, like back and forth on calls or just like in a saint, like was working on the carpet tape.
Yeah.
Because even I mean, he was on my latest album, but even then, like, he recorded that way before, like
Yeah.
before the carpet tape.
Yeah.
And so it was just such a fun, cool song to do and just talk about like our view of New York, our experiences of it, and how we view it compared to where we are now and
Mhm.
what we've seen before. And so yeah, it was it's such a fun song, and I just really enjoyed it. And I was like, I just want to put it out there and just
Heck
let
Yeah.
people
yeah.
hear it. And then Jenna did the cover art, which
That's pretty dope.
incredible,
Really
dude.
good.
She's a very good artist, and so she was like, "Hey, can I do the cover?" I was like, "Yeah." And so like the original idea was something with like the Statue of Liberty, and she was kind of like, it was funny. She was like, does it need to be the Statue of Liberty? I was like, no, it can be whatever. And she was like, yeah. And she went to work. Like,
Yeah.
Went
she
to
went to
work.
work, and then she sent me
Let her
that. I was
creative
like,
mind go. You know what I mean?
I know. She
Yeah,
went to
man.
work. I was like, that's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
it was
awesome.
it was awesome, and I love that song.
Well, and what you got to do with it
Out
with
now
the
on all digital platforms.
there you
On
go,
all
baby.
digital
New York
platforms.
City. And one thing with a song like this, you're trying to create imagery. You know what I mean? You're trying to like take the audience or the listener through this journey through the city. You know what I mean? Seeing all these different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hitting all these
Mhm.
landmarks and giving off that feel with that awesome instrumental, like you said, man. And I think you did a really good job with that. And I felt like I was there. I've been to New York a few times myself, and like you said, it's a very different city. You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
definitely has a life of its own almost. It's super interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, you did a really good job with that, dude. So yeah, New York City,
Thank you.
all over, baby. Go check it out.
All over.
All
Thank
over.
you.
All
Thank
over
you.
me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then we kind of dive
Pause.
into that album, man. The Brinking of Insanity, right?
Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
How's that, man? 10 songs, right?
Yeah.
This year.
So that album has been technically in the works since 2021. The idea first came about when we were recording Karma Island, which was the first collab album with me and Tommy.
Mhm.
That was when the idea came out. And it was originally an EP. It was going to be
Mhm.
3 songs because I didn't think I was ready for an album at that point. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I'm going to do a whole album.
Yeah.
Um, but then I knew I wanted it to be a personal album though. I wanted it to be really, really personal, really centered around just like my emotions, um, and all that sad stuff. Um, and so me and Tommy originally Tommy had like produced majority of the album. And we had a completely different album than what it is now. And so we were getting ready to release it. It was going to release in 2022 on my birthday, or like the day after my birthday. Um, then I made Free Myself randomly, and I was like, oh, I like that song.
I like it a lot.
And so I said, hey man, let's hold on to this album for a little bit. And he was like, what? He was like, bro, we just worked so hard. And I was like, dude, cause I wanted to hold on to it because it was so personal. I didn't want that to be the first thing I throw at people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is the first solo album I'm coming out with. I don't want it to be straight up like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I made A Drop of Insanity, which is just like that. I see that album as just the introduction of a character. After I made that one, then I realized, okay, I want to make a story. I want to
Mhm.
make a whole story following
Mhm.
this.
And I don't know if I'm wrong on this. I think we've talked about this. Aren't you trying to do, I don't want to give anything away. Aren't you trying to do like a multi-part album that tells like a whole story?
Um, it's a trilogy,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
and
I'm not
so
trying to give too much away here. I don't know
no,
how
yeah, you're
personal that
good, you're
is,
good.
so.
So after that album, I was like, okay, I think I want to make this a trilogy long thing.
Mhm.
Um, and so then I went back to The Brink of Insanity, and I was like, okay, I clearly have a different sound than what it originally was. Let me try and work around this. Let me try and make some new things. And so, I mean, I made a ton of new songs. Recorded all of them, produced 8 out of 10 tracks
Mhm.
on that album. Excuse me. And yeah, I mean, from then on, it was just like trying to write a story, trying to make it all make sense, make each individual track have its own story that fits into a bigger whole,
Yeah.
um, a bigger whole story.
Mhm.
And that's not the right words.
Mhm.
Writer right here, right? Uh,
Happens to
but
us. Don't worry. We're on it together.
We're
Me and Brayden,
creative.
we yeah, we have our moments. So
I
good.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, we got this, we got this.
Yeah.
Um, but so I mean, yeah, it was just developing a story and trying to trying to keep the personal side of it, as in every song I recorded helped me, and recording it and writing it down and saying those things out loud into a microphone, um, really helped. It was about making it personal while still keeping it entertaining and having those things that people can relate to.
Mhm.
And so it was trying to mash that all together.
Yeah.
Um, and so I mean, it's I'm still super proud of it. It's one of those things where it's like I don't go back and listen to a lot of things I put out, but that is like one of the things where like I could constantly listen to that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I mean it was very it was hard to do, when you're writing about like personal stuff and
Yeah.
Mhm.
people are gonna hear it.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Um, but it was enjoyable because I feel like I really got to expand on um my talent and grow and like, help myself grow.
And learn a lot about yourself as well, right? Because like you said, you're actually
Yeah.
putting that down on paper, and it's almost a therapy in a way. You know what I mean? To
Hmm.
really get all that out and learn things like I said, things about yourself that you didn't even know.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, and so I mean, and just I think the biggest thing that I did with this album that I didn't do with the first album was I had music videos.
Mhm.
And um Josiah Nobles is the best videographer out there, man. That
Mhm.
guy, he did the Wonderland video, he did the I'm Like That video, the mainstream video, My Mind Is video. He's doing all my videos. He's doing
Yeah.
all my videos. He's doing the photo shoots. I am keeping him. Like I
Yeah.
Mhm.
can't lose that guy. Um, he's incredible, and I mean, I feel like with this album and then these next albums, I'm kind of just working with all these people and having all these people have input in it, and so it's a big collaborative project, and that in itself is amazing because then it's not just a project for me about me. It's about all these people and
Right.
anyone who listens to it and can relate to it.
Yeah. No, that's
Pretty
incredible,
dope,
man.
man.
And I
That's
like
freaking
that.
dope.
And I like that you're not just like a lot of artists nowadays, and we're starting to see more of storytelling, but a lot of artists nowadays, especially in hip hop and things like that, they just get a bunch of songs, put them on, a 12 tracks, album and just release it. No, I like that you're going to a whole nother extent with it, and like you said, it's not only helping out and helping, I guess, people relate and understand that they're not alone, but it's also helping yourself on a really nice therapeutic level. I think is just really interesting stuff, dude. So I love that for you. You're a busy man. My boy's out here releasing tracks, making movies. Love to see it.
But I was gonna say one more thing about the album that just blanked on me though.
It's my fault. Damn it.
No, it's all good, bro. It was what you said that kind of like had me thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I just forgot it.
No, I feel that.
No, it's super cool and it's super fun to do. And my biggest goal was to try to make an album where each song could be its own story, but it could all fit into just one giant story, because I didn't want to have to do the storytelling thing to where it's like, oh, you have to listen to the whole thing in order, like to be able to understand it. I put out a note on like my Instagram the night before I came out with the album, just putting it out there. All I did was like suggest that you listen to it all the way through because that's the way I like to listen to it. But in reality, you can listen to it in so many ways, and it tells so many different stories. I think Brayden, you said something to me about it. You listen to it backwards.
Yes, I said that it tells a different. I actually thought it was really interesting. I listened to it the first full way through, and then I went back and I listened to it a separate time backwards, starting from the end to the beginning, and it's like crazy. It like completely is a different story, but it's like you can tell it lives within the same body of what it is. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I thought that was super interesting that you said that because I'm like, that's what I want people to get from it is what is your interpretation of it? What is it? What do you feel about it? What do you think I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I think that's super cool, that you were able to do that and so many other people were able to do that with listening to it. And that was just my goal, is just to make something universal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love it. Heck yeah, man. Awesome
Heck yeah,
stuff.
Man.
I'm out of questions. I heard everything I wanted to hear and more. So, Brayden, what about you, my boy?
Yeah, man. No, I'm pretty sauced up here. I think we could talk about Renfield if you guys are ready.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I want to hear Elijah's take on this film. Because me and Brayden, I don't know. Elijah kind of dove into more of like the more what's the word I'm looking for, man? Technical part of a lot of stuff as well. We were walking out of that theater. He gave us we usually do like a little 30-second to a minute summary, and my boy gave us his. So Elijah, what do you think of Renfield, man?
Man, I can't remember what I said. I will say so. Let me start off from the trailer. When I first saw the trailer, I wasn't really interested. It wasn't what I expected it to be. I was like, it looks kind of cheesy. But then we went and watched the movie, and I was like, oh, it's not. It's action packed. It's funny. It's dramatic. It's scary, and it's bloody. It was very bloody. It was. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. Which I should have. Dracula, but it was just fun the whole time, and it kept me invested. It kept me on the edge of my seat. And I mean, the story was just so good. The theme of toxic relationships and showing different setting, between Dracula and his servant was super cool. I thought that was so well done. I think Nicolas Cage killed it.
Yeah.
As Dracula.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
He was amazing.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like not crazy, but like I went, like you said, when I saw the trailer, I was like, this is gonna be cheesy as fuck. And then Nicolas Cage comes out as Dracula. I'm like, holy shit, that's Dracula.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. He was the perfect cat, which I'm not gonna lie, like I thought it was cool because who doesn't love Nicolas Cage? You know what I mean? But he played that role literally perfectly. Like I didn't have any negative thing to say about it. I thought he killed it.
I know.
Yeah. And I mean, like especially when it came to the the story itself and the theme within the story. I'm a
Yeah.
big theme guy. I know Brayden's a big theme guy.
Yep.
Brad loves
And
the
so
themes.
like if you got a good theme, a good consistent theme, I'm there. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm seated, I'm watching, and I love it. And then
Symbolism, all that fun stuff is great.
yeah, and I think the last thing I want to talk about is the two stories coming together
Yeah.
because most movies they'll have like these little side stories, and sometimes they go somewhere, sometimes they don't go anywhere,
Yeah.
and they're
Oh,
just there.
nothing
But
worse
this
than that.
movie had a side story, apart from Renfield and Dracula, and they mashed it together. And at
Yeah.
the end, it was all one big story, and that was amazingly well done. I thought.
I
And
agree.
and I want to kind of touch on that a little bit too. So I'm watching Sweet Tooth right now. It's a Netflix show
Okay.
that I think I talked to Brayden a little bit about.
That's the one with the deer.
Yeah, the one with the deer kid. Yeah, also the cocaine bear kid. He's the main kid in it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, so because you saw Cocaine Bear, right, Elijah? You
I
haven't seen it,
need to, bro.
bro,
I was
That's pretty
trying
good.
to convince people to come see it with me, and they're like, "Bro,
dude.
it's Cocaine Bear." I was like,
It
"Yeah,
was pretty
it's
good.
Exactly.
Cocaine Bear."
Yeah,
Like,
bro. No,
let
it's
me want to
actually
watch it.
it's
Losers.
really good. It's really good. But I'm watching that show, and my point is like there's a couple different storylines going on. The main one is between Gus and the big man, and Gus is like the little deer kid, and then there's like the scientist that's trying to figure out this cure. And one thing that that show doesn't do good that this movie did well is this side story or the subplot in Renfield is really interesting, and you don't hate when it goes to that subplot. When I'm
Right.
watching Sweet Tooth, every time it goes to the scientist, I'm like, bro, bring me back to Gus. Bring me back to Gus and the big guy. I don't care about this. I understand it's probably something to do important. It's probably going to wrap up perfectly and come together
Yeah.
beautifully. But still, the big build up to it is so boring. Like I just want to see Gus and the big guy on their adventure, mess some stuff up. That's what I want to see.
It's a lot
And
harder
that
with
show's not doing it.
series.
Yeah,
It's a lot harder with series, I
because
feel like.
more dragged out. Yeah,
Because you have to drag it out more. One series I feel like does that really well with like having the subplots come together.
Mm.
We're currently watching it right now, me and my parents, Manifest.
I haven't seen it. Yeah,
Manifest, it was like I think CBS,
I
NBC
think so.
show.
Yeah,
Netflix now has it. But I mean, what like they'll have like a little subplot in every episode, but at the end of it, it all ties back together, and it's like, whoa, remember the blah blah blah, and it's like
yeah,
really cool. And so I think this movie did a very good job, and it's like it wasn't like a boring it wasn't boring until the end. Like
Yeah.
it was like because I feel like if it was just like too much Renfield and Dracula, I would have been like, all right, now we're doing too
right,
much. But
right.
like
Yeah.
that where it was just like, oh, it's a cop, with worrying about this little mafia mob thing.
Yeah,
And it was just really well done. And
I'm with you.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. It was super cool.
Yeah, it was. But no, that's one thing that I really liked is that it was a very interesting. There's a lot of very interesting stuff going on. The pacing was really well done when it comes to that. That's what I'm saying.
And I won't even lie. At first, I thought it was gonna I had that same reaction. I was like, dude, where is this going? Like, what? But then, maybe 20 minutes into that point, you start to see it all coming together right away, and you're like, oh, dude, that is sick. And then by the end of it, it's like, yeah, bro, that is dope. I knew that was gonna happen. That is so cool.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, no, it was great. It was really good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
are we doing spoilers in this?
well, we're gonna do our actual main in-depth review. Probably gonna film that a little bit later tonight. I just want to kind of touch on our thoughts a little bit with you because we saw it with you, and I know you had some really good points I wanted to hear. This is a spoiler thing though, so if you want to go ahead and talk spoilers, go for it because this is a spoiler thing. So spoiler, here we go. Go for it, dude. Drop it.
I didn't have anything to say. I thought you were going to talk about something. I'm not gonna. But no, I think it was just. I think it was a little bit expected, but like with the cops working for the mafia people.
Yeah.
However, like I forgot about it because it was like she touched on it once. She was like, "I know you're on their payroll," blah, and it was like it was brushed off, and we were kind of like, "Whatever."
You're kind
Like,
of thinking like maybe like 2 or 3 of them, but then
yeah,
it's the whole
but then
fucking
the
police
whole
department.
force came out, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the only one, and like her sister, like they
Yeah.
were the only two like people in that building.
Okay, speaking on the sister thing though too, it's funny you brought that up. I thought we could have did a little bit more with that. It felt very pushed off to the side, in my opinion, to the point in the movie, like I almost forgot about before you even mentioned that. I totally forgot about it. Like that's just something
The
that they
sister,
didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, I know they had their reunion at the end and all that, but like throughout the entire film, they could have definitely incorporated that a little bit more, and that might have messed up the pacing because this is a very fast-paced movie. But that is one thing that I was sitting there, and I'm so glad you mentioned it, dude, because I totally forgot about it. But I was like, okay, I forgot she was even the sister. Like it threw me like way off. It was just I don't know if anybody else felt that way. Elijah,
I did.
very weird.
I feel like she wasn't as big of a part in it. I
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, I feel
I'm a
like there
big-
could. I feel like they could have like fleshed it out a little bit more.
Mhm.
Like, but
Yeah.
like honestly, I think like it's just one more scene.
I'm
I feel
a
like
big
with
right.
those two.
Yeah, 100%,
I'm a big all or
right.
nothing guy. And it's kind of like I sit there and it's like she doesn't have to be a huge part, but I get what you guys are saying. Like either don't even have her in the movie or at least make her character like somewhat important. Because like more important, you know what I mean? They just
Well, for the big reveal at the, or not the reveal, but for the big like conclusion of her and her sister being together, it felt very like,
and their dad, like their dad was both killed by the same people
Yeah.
that work for the police. Like there should have been more. We should have
Yeah.
seen a scene with the dad. Like I get what you're saying.
and like
They
Elijah
built-
said, just one scene, just give us
One
one
scene.
little
Yeah.
thing, and that's what kind of makes me really mad is the fact that it only probably could have taken one more scene and it would have been okay. But that is something. I'm glad you mentioned that, Elijah, because that's something that popped up, and I was like, yeah, I just felt very weird. Like that storyline just felt very
I
out
feel like
there.
just something of them just like reminiscing.
Yeah.
Like it like just something quick to just like establish these two do have a connection,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know? And I
Yeah.
feel like they did kind of do that when they talked about like wanting to get revenge, you know? And I feel like she was like, listen, you know, I get it, you want revenge, but you can't just be out here trying to stop the like I feel like that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like there just wasn't enough like sister, you know? It wasn't
Enough breathing room. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
scenes you got to put in there to kind of relax the audience a little bit, especially in a movie where everybody's arms are getting torn off, literally.
Mhm.
So like you just kind of need a little breathing room in there. You know what I mean? A moment for the audience to kind of sit back and enjoy just a relationship build.
Out of all the scenes in that movie, the one that I've been thinking about since was did he kick him or punch him? And blood just came out of both ends.
He kicked him. He kicked him.
Yeah, I think
He
so.
like
dude.
spinning back kicked him in the abdomen.
Yeah.
Renfield
And he
kicked
shot
Sonic the
himself.
Hedgehog.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
and like I mean it was like Mortal Kombat. That was
Yes.
super cool because like it showed like the X-ray of the bones.
That was my
one of my
favorite.
favorite.
That was my favorite.
scenes.
Yeah,
and
that
then you
probably
just
was.
saw like and it was,
Yeah.
It was
I mean,
awesome.
We all were kind of like
What the?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was
it was
flipping out.
crazy.
It was great.
I've just I've had in my head the whole time because I was like, no way.
Some
My
paranormal
fault.
activity type stuff. All right, go ahead.
My fault.
He's just gonna freaking just like float off the screen.
Oh, bro, that'd be great.
But no, yeah, I thought that was just crazy. The
I
action
wasn't
in the
expecting that.
door was insane, dude.
Neither. That's a big thing that I actually really enjoyed about this film. I really didn't expect a lot of it. Like I didn't expect it. The action was awesome. Props to, do you guys know who the actor who played Renfield? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, Nicholas Holt.
Nicholas
no,
Holt.
is it?
Nicholas Holt.
I was about to
Nicholas
say I've
Holt.
seen him in other stuff.
Yep.
He was the one reason I didn't want to see the movie because his character in the menu is one of my least favorite characters I think I've ever watched.
Bro,
like,
yeah.
I absolutely hated that character. Like I got mad, bro. Like I was
I've done
getting mad
Dracula
watching
stage play.
I was sitting up
and Renfield is just the most like Renfield is probably the worst character. No. Yeah, he might be the worst character. Renfield's pretty bad. In the Dracula stage play, he's just so
Okay. Yeah, the
Just
stage
so-
play.
ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the
not
movie.
film.
I was
No,
like,
no.
bro,
Me and
he
Elijah
was
were like, what are you talking
fire in
about?
the
Yeah.
movie.
No, that was a big thing. Like it was
Yeah.
off-putting for me when the movie was coming out because I've done the stage play and I was like, what? They've
Yeah.
already done I played Van Helsing and they've already done a Van Helsing movie.
Yeah.
But I was like, bro, he's way cooler. Like, what are they doing Renfield for? But now,
Right.
like, when you see the modern take and the way they were doing things, I really enjoyed this film. And it was really cool to see, like you were saying, like the action, coming off of like John Wick 4. I've been comparing a lot of like fight scenes recently to it. And I honestly thought they did really good. Like the only thing that looked fake was when they would like jump super far, but at the same time, that's like the vampire ability. So
Yeah.
I thought it was really unexpected, but really dope.
Yeah.
They did it
There
really
was one shot where it did kind of just look like they had like a waterfall animation and they just put it on the guy's arm and turned it red. Like there
Yo,
was one part where I was like
facts.
looking at it closely and I was like, that don't look real.
No,
Yeah.
that's actually in my cons that we're gonna get into is the CGI. Like
The CGI was
there
pretty
was
meh.
multiple points throughout that movie that I was just like, why?
I was like,
But
which has
it almost fit with the movie though.
what
The
has
movie's
worse
so
CGI, Murder
wacky.
Mystery 2 or
Yeah.
But I feel like
Yeah. You walk into the little room and you see the background. Oh my god, yeah. That
I
was
feel
great.
like it did I feel like the CGI wasn't as good, but they relied a lot more on practical effects, I feel like. When it came to um I mean one Nicolas Cage, when it
Mhm.
came to him and how he looked,
I
from
love the burnt stuff, dude. Oh my god, it gave off
That
like
was
Freddy
awesome.
Krueger vibes, and I loved it.
yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna say the makeup is actually one of my pros. I
Yeah,
thought the makeup was super dope.
The makeup was really well done,
Just
yeah.
how
yeah,
everybody looked out throughout the film.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm with you.
No, but I agree with you guys.
Really, really
Yo,
fun stuff.
dude, my whole brain just shut off. What we were just talking
Yo,
about.
I
was
saw
in
the
total
Windows
Dude,
64.
we were
My
talking
boy.
about Knives Out, bro. Give your opinion.
Yeah, come
Knives
on
Out,
now.
bro.
Come
No,
on.
the CGI. I'm so sorry. My
Yeah, no,
brain
you're good.
stopped.
You're good.
Um,
Yeah, sorry, you got a point.
it was noted that's the problem. I don't care in films like with murder mystery, it wasn't great. And it was a little bit bad to the point where you could like make a comment about it, but I don't like watching films where it's just like that pulls away from me watching it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah,
it's like it's not that Renfield did that, but I do feel like they could have put that little extra budget in it so I wasn't like so taken away and just like but that's the thing, it wasn't supposed to be some serious actual gory scene. Like this is a comedy. I feel like exactly like you're saying it almost layers on the type of movie that they're trying to go for.
yeah,
hmm
yep.
And I mean, also just like again, like man, CGI. I brush by
Yeah,
CGI. I'll brush by it if you
yeah,
got a really good story.
right.
Yeah.
Like and that was I think
And it,
Renfield had a really good story,
yeah.
Yeah,
and so I didn't care about the CGI. Like
Yep.
I was
Uh-huh.
like that was like the least of my concerns. I was like I saw that one part and I was like, all right.
yeah. No,
Eh.
I'm with you on that. Like I said, and it almost fit with the movie. It's so wacky and weird that the CGI almost kind of fit weirdly, you know.
Yeah. Mhm.
But no, Elijah, one thing that we do with reviews, man, is we give like our rating on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
I'm me and Brayden. I want to try to guess your rating because me and Brayden always have like very, very similar ones. We've actually gotten the same one a couple times, so
Mhm.
I want to try to guess
Here,
Elijah's rating here.
let me think of it
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick.
You come up with one real quick so I can kind of channel that.
And this is our own personal rating.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I've got it.
Okay. I'm gonna take a guess real quick. You like this movie, but you have problems with it. I'm gonna go with the 8.6.
I'm gonna go 9.3.
9.2.
Oh my god!
You got it, bro.
Dang, man. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I respect it. So, why is it
Close.
in the nines for you?
Um, honestly, I mean, just the story and the acting. I think the acting, the
Yeah.
story, I think the makeup, and just I don't. It just kept me engaged, and I
Yeah.
think that was the biggest thing. Like there were some little like quirks in it, like the CGI and stuff.
Yeah.
Was a little strange, but it still made it fun. It
Right.
was like
The main cast was
it,
very strong.
yeah, 100%. And I think I mean even Aquafina, that's like a role I haven't seen her in before. And she did a very good job. Made me like Nicholas Holt.
Mhm.
Made me actually like that guy.
He's
And
got
just
that
made
dog.
me appreciate Nicolas Cage even more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
there you go. I'm
and
with you.
then what's the Ben Schwartz? Is that his name? Ben Schwartz?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, he was super funny. He's always funny.
Mhm.
And so I mean, I didn't even know he was in this movie. And when I saw him pop up, I said, like you I don't know if y'all heard me. I said, oh shoot, because I just thought he was gonna be like a cameo.
Yeah. No,
I didn't know he was like in the movie.
yeah.
But so like him being in the movie, like I enjoyed that a lot. I thought it was
Mhm.
super funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would give it a 9 point. I'd give it a 9.2 just because
That's strong.
kept me engaged. Loved it.
Yeah, man. Good stuff.
Awesome,
And
awesome.
one more thing too. So we talked about like rewatchability. Did you say this is a movie that you'd rewatch a lot?
Um, I don't think so. I might go back and watch it. The most I would say is 2 times
Yeah.
because like I mean it's not a movie I would normally watch,
Yeah.
but it would be something if it was like I have some friends over and it's like, yo, put on something funny, nah, put
Yeah.
on something scary, put on something that's like, do I got something for you? Like
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
it's
exactly what
like,
it is.
and so yeah, I feel like it's a good movie to like watch with people and like watch with like friends.
Yeah. Right.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I totally
With you.
agree.
I'm with you, man.
100%.
All right, good stuff, bro. Well, yeah, I think that's all we really wanted to hit. Elijah, appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for hopping on here, man, on
Thank
Actors
you guys for having
POV.
me on.
Go
Hell
ahead
yeah, brother.
and promote whatever you want to promote again, just real quick at the end.
All right, so let me go down the list. Um, Out now is The Bring of Insanity, my second
Boom.
album. Go listen to that.
Go
Super
listen.
proud of that. New song with Tommy Woodford, New York City. That's spelled
New York City.
NEWYAWKCITAY, New York City. You can
New
find
York
all my music under
City.
Elijah T. Temple, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, whatever you want. Instagram, same thing, Elijah T. Temple. That's where I mostly promote on. So if you want to look out for some stuff I'm coming out with, then that's the place to go.
All right.
Oh yeah, brother.
My guy, man. Well, no, I appreciate you hopping on here, dude. Good stuff. Keep killing it, bro. And
It was a pleasure having
yeah.
you, bro.
Dude, thank you guys for having me.